Hi there. I just want to do a talk. I've got a feeling this will be a very healing talk. And, all day, every day, on this journey, ever since this unexpected spiritual awakening, you become the observer. I've become very meditative. You probably hear my deep breathing, my deep breathing on this videos that I do. And that happened because of this ascension process. You see, when you start to become not the experiencer, but more of an observer, you start to get insights into other people's behaviors and stuff like that. And this is what I'm doing all the time. Because I'm very interested, because the reason I'm doing this is I do it to everyone. I observe people because this awakening showed me that everything's a mirror. And I understand now that the deeper we look into others, the deeper we're seeing into, and the deeper insights we're having into parts of ourselves that may not be healed yet. And by getting this insights, you heal deeper within. And this, as you heal, this puts you more in a meditative state. You see, and that's it. I was just thinking before I was doing this video, I was thinking about the fact that I've seen on the internet quite a lot of people that have had spiritual awakenings, and I just thought, Jim Carrey said it. He said the isolated family member is the one who is truly awake. Now, are you the strength in your family? Are you your strongest family member? Because I tell you right now, if you've had a spiritual awakening, then you will be. If you're the one that's in a family that is the only one that's had the big spiritual awakening, then you are the strength of that family. And what you've got to do, I see a lot of people on the internet getting annoyed with their families. Don't do that. Your job isn't to try and heal anyone, but your job is to just be an example. If they try and put you down, then it's just because your strength, you see. It's because of your strength. Right? And use this, and use everything. I use everything as a guide. Use everything as a guide. And then if you've got a difficult family or a difficult situation, if you start looking at everything as a guide, that's where it'll become. Because everything is actually how we see it. It's like you can choose to really argue with people, or you can choose to not. It's all a choice. Right? It's all a choice. And the difference between the two, once you start being more observant, you start to grow, really grow. We grow when we're silent. That's when we're growing the most. When we are learning, when we're meditating, when we're doing that, that's when we're really developing. The one who's talking all the time isn't developing. The one who's talking all the time and loud isn't learning a thing. A thing I got interested in the last couple of years was narcissism. I got very into that because the reason is, there's no reason. There probably is a reason, but it just came up on YouTube, a few years ago, and I started looking it up more, and looking at psychologists talk about it, and I'm very interested in this. The reason I'm very interested is number one, I have insight into narcissism because I know that I was going down that road myself, and I wasn't a narcissist, full-blown narcissist, but I think that the traits would have built, and so I've got like insights into narcissism. So even though I'm not a psychologist, because I was going down that road, I understand it. It's like I understand someone if they're like jealous of me or if they're insecure. I understand those emotions because those are emotions that are still very close to me, and because this is what I've had to heal from. And I want to talk a bit about that as well. And it's all labels, of course. It's all everything's labels and made up. But what causes it is neediness. Neediness is it destroys your mind and makes people not have any empathy, and this is how you get the narcissist. This is how it develops, and then they have no empathy for others because they don't have enough love within, and this is what creates the neediness. It's like when you see couples, human couples, 3D humans that are in relationships. I mean, they're not happy. The only time they're really together is when they take a selfie. I've seen people on social media, they take pictures all day, and I'm thinking to myself, they're not actually together. It's just about, it's about attention. It's not about love, it's about attention. And Russell Brand asked the question of a while ago. I watched his videos, and he said, "Are we building a narcissistic society?" And it's obvious. It's funny when you get people and they say that we live in a free society. No country and no place on this planet is a free society. Society is insane. When you wake up, David Icke says it. He said when he woke up, he realised that the world was mad. And it really is. This free society that people talk about is a society where you're born into the world. Some countries you're getting vaccinated. It might happen in every country, I'm not sure. But you're getting vaccinated as soon as you're born. Your parents are programming you. You go to school. If you don't go to school, your parents get prosecuted. You have to go to school. You get programmed. Then you might go to university. If you're very easy to program, you'll go to university. And this is what people believe is intelligence, when it's just someone that just repeats whatever they're told. And this is how society is run. It's all about telling them what they are and getting them to repeat it. And this is what we call normal society. And the society now with the smartphones and all this kind of stuff, selfies and all that, it is developing a narcissistic society. And also this society that's free is putting out 5G when pretty much everyone said no to it, but yet but we're all free. We're all free, sorry. We're all free. But no, we're not free. You're not free at all. You're free, you're only free to repeat. And it's crazy. It's like if you get a family situation and you have one family member that's saying a different opinion to the rest, that person would be crazy because the rest of them will have the popular opinion, you see. That's how society is run. They get people to believe in right or wrong. This is the way it should be. This is the way it shouldn't be. And then so basically you're only allowed that opinions. When there's over 7 billion on the planet, so that means there's over 7 billion ways to look at things and 7 billion perspectives. But yet, the system is right. And this is what political correctness is. It's all about George Orwell. He's called it the thought police. And that's is exactly that. And the thought police is you're not allowed to go outside the official opinions. I was in this community centre a good few months ago, And there was this thing on this wall, and it was all about it was all these name callings for people that aren't, they don't like gay people or don't like this other kind of person. And I don't agree with that either. I don't think anyone should be against anyone. But I thought to myself, it was so much different names they were calling these people, phobia this, phobia that. And it's just a way to stop people saying what they think. People should be allowed to express themselves. Because if we can't, then what kind of society are we building? You know, if we can't say what we really feel and think. And also, when we can't say what we really think and feel, we're not actually, other people aren't getting a real measure of our true feelings. So it's not really, and this is the free society. But that's it. But like I say, there's a global spiritual awakening going on, and that's what's happening. But I want to go back to before I end the video, I want to go back to, you know, you may be in your family the strongest member. If you've had the spiritual awakening, that will definitely be the case. You know, the strange thing about my spiritual awakening is ever since this narcissism thing, it's like it's almost like I've become, you know, I'm not a trained therapist or anything, but I kind of feel like it in a way. But maybe that's why people have had spiritual awakenings. Maybe our job is to actually be not trained, programmed therapists, but insightful therapists. Therapists that actually understand what we're talking about and not just repeating. I think that's what we are. I think the people that have had the spiritual awakenings are actually the new type of breed on the planet, and they are the next level of humans, and our job is to be an example. You know, that's it. Also, other thing that happens when you spiritually awaken is you ascend to a level, because you're becoming so meditative, you become mindfulness and you don't care what people think of you anymore. Not just because you know the reasons for it, but because you just, you know, you realize that people can only perceive you based on how they feel within themselves. And that's just it. People see you exactly the same way they feel within. You can only do that, can you? So when you get a narcissistic person, you know, and you know, you'll notice if someone's trying to observe people, and what you'll notice when you're dealing with a narcissistic personality, they're always trying to get a response. And as you're observing them and you're not responding, you'll actually gain great insights into this kind of needy behavior. And you'll understand it better. So when I'm saying this for people that might come in contact with narcissistic or needy personalities. You know, and if you actually observe them instead of responding, try to understand it, then you'll get great insights and you can do videos and talk about it. See, that's the thing. You can either respond to people's words or you can try to understand people's words. That's the choice. And if you try to understand instead of responding, and you be still, you will ascend, you know. But I'm just going to end this video here. If you're watching, you're meant to watch it. Everything falls to divine order and divine timing. Thank you for watching.